Hi everyone, welcome to this session titled Should You Invest in MNCs? So, for a long time, we have all as investors have faced some or the other dilemma coming down to the markets. So, the first issue that we face when we start our equity journey is the markets seem to be too risky, and any form of investing that I intend to do in the markets, it could be index investing, it could be taking up a bunch of stocks like a small case basket, starting your investment journey over there. Um, Essentially, whatever you try to do, when you want to purely stick to the equity space, there is a certain degree of risk that comes with investing. Now, in order to not take that risk, we can also take the decision of directly heading over to asset classes like debt. So this could be something like corporate debts. It could be something as simple as liquid Bs in the markets. It could even be an FD. And again, after investing in that for a long period of time, what we would have realized ultimately is that the equity markets would have fetched us far more returns. And at that point of time, it becomes too late to start our investing journey. So, is there a way to balance out this dilemma that we are facing generally when we come to the markets? And the agenda of today's session is going to be to exactly see that. So, what we will try to understand is whether investing in MNCs as such is a safer route, is a safer mechanism to start your investment journey, and uh, are MNCs the way to go going forward? And if yes, what are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? So, this will be the agenda of this particular session. If you have any questions, I encourage the audience members to start posting it in the questions box or the comment box, and I'll be able to answer your questions at the end of the session. All right. So now, first, let us try to understand the nature of the markets. So the markets have been correcting, and the markets correct once in approximately once in 1.45 years. So sorry, once in 4.5 years on an average. If we take the data from maybe 1992 to up until now, the average correction lasts for about 1.2 to 1.3 years, and post then we have always seen a bull market coming up. So, with this said, when the market correction comes through, we feel more pain when we have high beta stocks associated with us. So, if the beta value of the stock is more than 1.5, 1.6, more than 2, then generally speaking, if the market corrects by 20%, then our portfolios might correct by 30%, 40%, and so on. If we are in ultra high beta stocks, then even if the markets correct by 20%, our portfolios might correct by 40, 45, 50% also, which is very painful. So we will try to understand with a simple presentation that I'll be showing you now. We'll try to understand how to go about starting your journey in the MNC space, and what kind of mechanism does Kotak baskets on the platform offer you. All right. So before we begin, for those of you who are new, we will try to see what small cases are. So small cases, or Kotak baskets as we call it on the Kotak platform, they are nothing but direct equity portfolios which have been curated with a certain idea in mind. Now, this idea could be a certain strategy, it could be a certain a theme, it could be anything that is relevant to that. So, if we were to take a basket of MNCs or multinational corporations, if we try to take such kind of companies and try to put it into one particular basket, it can become something like an MNC basket. If we try to take ETFs and try to put it into a basket, becomes an ETF basket. If we try to take stocks which have exposure to power sector in India and put it becomes a power sector basket. So similarly, so there are a variety of baskets which can be curated on the platform. Now, who creates these baskets? This is a general question that we always tend to get. SEBI registered professionals who have their licenses to provide advisory services are basically coming over and curating baskets on the small case platform as well as the Kotak platform. Now, let us move on, and let us first try to understand to what degree MNC index has delivered its return. So this has been the source is from NSE indexogram directly, and this was as on July 29th, 2022. I believe the next report will come out a month later. So now, if we take a look at the total returns that the index has been able to generate, which is the second figure. So we can ignore the quarter to date, year to date, because all these are very short time frames when the markets have been reluctant to go up. They're flat by nature. So if we take a look at the last 1 year, the portfolio, the index, MNC index, has managed to generate a return of about, total return of about 9.88%. Similarly, the average return for the last 5 years, or what we call a CAGR, is somewhere around 9.91%. And since inception, if we take from the very beginning of when the MNC index started, so the return since inception is somewhere around 13.01%. Now, what we generally know is that the markets also deliver similar returns. So the index, it could be Nifty 50 index, it could be Nifty 100 index. All these indices or the market in general also tends to give a similar degree of return. Okay. So if we were to take a look at the graph, so this is a graph that depicts only those stocks which belong to the MNC index. So all of them are MNCs. If we take a look at it from the very beginning, the price of this index started somewhere in and around hovering, started in and around somewhere around 1000. And then today, since 96 till today, it has somewhere come up to 20,000. So this has become the index price. So with all this understood, what is it that we believe, or what is it that we think about index investing giving us an advantage in the markets? So the first advantage that comes with going the MNC route of investing is that these stocks are generally having a lower beta or beta level as compared to many other stocks in the markets which come with a very high beta. What is a beta? Beta is the degree to which the price of the stock fluctuates with the market condition. For example, if the beta of a stock is 1, that means that it is in line with the index. If the beta of the stock is 2, that means that it could go double as much as what an index would return, or it could fall double as much as the index. Not exactly like that, but that is how the notion works. So if the higher the beta, the more the price is going to fluctuate with the market condition. So if there are stocks which have a degree of 3 beta, 3.5, 4, and so on, which move in a very volatile fashion, and it's good for us if we are able to be in the right time in the right stocks and somehow manage to catch it, but it is easier said than done. So in most cases, when we see market corrections coming through, so these market corrections, they come through with a very high degree of impact on those who are invested in these high beta stocks. Not MNCs, but very high beta stocks. But MNCs, on the other hand, provide us an inherent advantage. This advantage is that, one, they are safer companies to bet on. Why are they safer? One, because the corporate governance at MNCs is far better than stocks or small cap stocks, or stocks which are in which manipulation could be rampant. MNCs have a certain way of functioning. It could be corporate governance, it could be ethics. There are a variety of factors that come into it, which make them very stable. Third is MNCs generally are not ultra small cap companies or anything as such. So here the liquidity is higher. So small amount of volume coming in and the stock hitting upper circuits, down circuits where you're no longer able to get out of the stock. These things are not prevalent in, generally speaking, in the MNC space. And because of this, it can be considered as a viable route to investing as compared to investing in other stocks or individual stocks where the excitement factor is more. And the more it is exciting, the more we feel like getting into it and starting our investment journey. तो बेसिकली इस सेशन में हम लोग ये देखने वाले हैं कि जो स्मॉल केस क्यूरेट किया गया है प्लेटफॉर्म पे, जो एमएनसी के रिलेटेड स्मॉल केस जो हमने क्यूरेट किया है, वो स्मॉल केस किस लॉजिक से डिजाइन किया हुआ है, वो फिलॉसफी, कौन सा फिलॉसफी के साथ हम लोग डिजाइन कर रहे हैं, उसका परफॉर्मेंस क्या है अभी तक, एंड उसमें कितना इन्वेस्टमेंट अमाउंट से हमको हमारा इन्वेस्टमेंट चालू करना है, एंड वी विल ऑल्सो directly head over to this platform, to the Kotak platform, and we will try to see how to set up our investment journey in such kind of a basket or a portfolio. ठीक है? तो this portfolio that we are talking about is called as MNC Eternals, and it's a portfolio of multinational companies offering long-term stability. So please note the wordings that are being used here. The idea here is not ultra short term investing, it is long term investing. The philosophy here is not to try to get as much returns as possible in the market, which may be possible, may not be possible. But the idea here is stability or risk, or I would say a lower risk mechanism versus others in the market. So why should you why should you consider investing in a small case like MNC Eternals is what we will look at. So as you can see on the screen, so MNC corporations or multinational corporations have been considered a safer bet by investors over the past many years due to things like which I've mentioned, high corporate governance, and also their focus on the Indian markets, which has been happening. So apart from that, most of the listed MNC companies have a very strong parent support. It could be in terms of parent support, could mean parent company support, it can be many things. And over here, we are specifically referring to support that is flowing in terms of technology, in terms of being able to offer new products out in the markets. And the we have seen a lot of manipulation happen in the markets when it comes to smaller cap companies. This happens over globally across all the markets, where smaller companies are prone to market manipulation. It could be market manipulation by a third party outsider, or it could be manipulation happening inside the organization where the accounting practices are not correct, false data is represented to us as investors, and stock manipulation starts happening. Generally speaking, you can notice these stocks by taking a look at graphs which have started exponentially rising for no reason whatsoever, and all of a sudden you will start noticing continuous down circuits happening till the stocks till the bubble is burst. So these kind of I would say practices or these kind of occurrences do not generally happen in MNCs, because MNCs have very wide departments just to take care of accounting, and they are thoroughly audited. So, and they're very well professionally run. There is no single stakeholder generally in MNCs who is making all the decisions. So there are boards sitting for which the prior approval need to be taken, and it is run in a very systematic fashion. So apart from this, does this mean that the returns start stagnating? Because now we are talking about companies which are being run in a very standard fashion, and if they're being run in a standard fashion, then maybe the returns will not be so good, maybe the returns will underperform the market, because smaller companies which have high beta and which have a very good promoter, it's our assumption that it can play out much better. So that's generally a wrong assumption to have, because in the markets when you come, it is very difficult to identify out of 4 small cap companies, ultra small cap companies, which one is promoter driven, where things like price manipulation is happening right now, versus the other 3 or 2 good, where nothing like that is happening. So MNC is a headache free approach to it, because we know that we are investing in companies which we are already aware of. Now, if we take a look at what has been working in advantage for MNC basket or MNC companies. So because of the above mentioned qualities and high return ratio, the MNC companies trade at a higher valuation as compared to their domestic peers. So if there is a company indulging in only one activity domestically within India, and there is a foreign manufacturer or a foreign MNC service provider, whatever it is, who comes to this particular space, the generally preferred option for all of us, it could be as retail investors, it could be in a B2B business fashion, would be to go with the MNC. And this generally tends to work in the MNC's favor. And that is the reason why we have also seen that MNC companies tend to have a higher valuation even with the same kind of financial practices with the balance sheets, they tend to have a slightly higher valuation also. And apart from this, the Nifty MNC index, it has given a 40% CAGR in both the time frames, that is latest 5 years and latest 10 years. And the beta of NSE MNC index against the Nifty 50 works out to 0.7, which portrays lesser volatility. What does this mean? If Nifty's volatility is 1, which means the degree of fluctuation is 1, MNC index has a volatility less than that, 30% less than that, which is 0.7. So these are the reasons why when we are considering investing in the equity space directly and we want to choose a safer route to start our journey, because of, it could be because of liquidity issues, it could be because of more stability in terms of returns, it could be in terms of investing in trustworthy companies which will survive not just today or 5 years from today, but which are expected to survive for a very long period of time. It makes a lot of sense to go with a basket like MNC Eternals or to invest in MNCs generally speaking. So if we were to take a look at MNC Eternal's market cap distribution, how has the market cap been laid out? So we will notice that a majority of the companies fall in the mid cap space. As you can see on the screen, 57% of the holdings of this is as of today, that is 12th of August, 2022. So as of now, the mid cap space basically has a 57% weightage in this particular portfolio, with the next weightage coming to the small cap sector with about 28% weightage, and the large cap having a weightage of approximately 14.29%. So essentially, a majority of the portfolio is focused towards the mid cap space. Now, keeping this in mind, what else do we need to know about this one particular basket? So the next thing that we need to know about is, what am I getting in this basket? What are the set of stocks? How much weightage do each of these stocks have? And how long does it stay in the portfolio? When are we going to enter the stock? When are we going to exit the stock? That is something that we'll be looking at. So now, under specialty chemicals, you can see Nobel India Limited, and then under footwear, we have Bata, and then in FMCG, we have Kolpal and Hindustan Unilever, and then under rating agencies, we have CRISIL, and under pharma, we have Pfizer and we have Sanofi. So these are the set of stocks that are there in this particular portfolio. And as you can see, each of these stocks are coming with the same set of weightage of approximately 14.28%. So this is an equiveighted portfolio जहां पे हम लोग अलग-अलग weightages नहीं दे रहे हैं कोई stock को भी. And there is no stock which we are giving more preference to and saying that this stock is something that we believe in more than the other stock. Generally speaking, philosophy पे हम लोग यहाँ पे एक portfolio हमने curate किया है, और हर एक stock in the MNC space जो screening mechanism pass कर रहा है, सबको एक ही weightage लगा के हम एक basket बना चुके हैं. तो now, if we take a look at the sector wise breakup, यहाँ पे आपको फर्क दिखने लगेगा. तो स्पेशलिटी केमिकल्स में अबाउट 14% वेटेज है, फुटवेयर में 14 है, लेकिन एफएमसीजी में सेक्टर वाइज एक्सपोजर अगर हम देखें तो अप्रोक्सीमेटली 30% एक्सपोजर है, क्योंकि हम यहाँ पे कोलपाल और हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर में दोनों में वी आर टेकिंग अप्रोक्सीमेटली 14% एक्सपोजर, बिकॉज ऑफ विच एफएमसीजी हैज 30%. सिमिलरली अगर हम फार्मा पे भी देखेंगे तो फार्मा पे 30% एक्सपोजर है. So FMCG and pharma combined together have between 58 to 60% exposure in the portfolio. Individual stock के हिसाब से नहीं, बल्कि sector के हिसाब से. Apart from that, we have other three sectors like ratings, footwear, and specialty chemicals. Now, if we were to take a broader look about sector-based composition and weightage, जैसे मेरे screen पे दिख रहा है, वैसे the sector breakup exists. So you can see here that pharma and FMCG, that is the orange and the yellow color pie, orange and green color pie chart, are having the highest weightage in the portfolio or in the basket, more than 50%. Now, if this is the case, let us say we start our investment journey today in this particular basket, something like this particular basket. So, क्या होने वाला है इस सिचुएशन में? ये जो स्टॉक्स आपको दिख रहा है कि all these stocks are now going to come to your own Kotak Securities account. All right. So they will come to your Kotak Securities account as soon as you invest and start your journey. You will be the owner of these stocks and the portfolio will exist as of today, just like this. But one important question to ask. These stocks are good as of today. They're great MNC companies picked from the MNC space with a lot of thought process into it. लेकिन क्या 5 साल के बाद या 10 साल के बाद will all these companies still perform in the same way? Will their financial balance sheet still be in the same way? Will everything still be the same? 100% we both know that the answer is no for that. तो इसीलिए हम लोग क्या करते हैं, अगर एक या दो कंपनीज ऐसे बास्केट्स में जो हम बनाते हैं, इफ वी सी समथिंग फंडामेंटली चेंजिंग इन दोस बास्केट्स, so I don't want to take any names in this basket, but I'm just going to randomly take any stock that I can see on the screen. For example, let me just take the first two stocks, Axo Nobel India and Bata India. So if these two stocks, something fundamentally changes, for example, and it no longer looks like a good stock in the portfolio, maybe 3 years from today, तो उस सिचुएशन में हम लोग क्या करने वाले हैं? तो जो स्टॉक्स हम लोग डालना नहीं चाहते हैं बास्केट में, विच वी बिलीव आर नॉट गुड, और अगर ऑलरेडी पोर्टफोलियो में है, तो हम उसको रीबैलेंस करके, मैं बताता हूं कि रीबैलेंस क्या है, हम उसको उस पोर्टफोलियो में से निकाल देते हैं एंड वी एड दो स्टॉक्स विच आर fitting into the philosophy, which is MNC Eternals, where good corporate governance is there, where strong ethics are there, and the company is following a certain framework. तो उस प्रोसेस को हम बोलते हैं रीबैलेंस. और जब भी हम रीबैलेंस करते हैं, ऑल द इन्वेस्टर्स ऑफ MNC Eternals को वो रीबैलेंस नोटिफिकेशन मिल जाता है, एंड इन अ क्लिक ऑफ अ बटन यू कैन ऑल्सो स्टार्ट योर रीबैलेंसिंग. सो एंड रीबैलेंसिंग इज अ सेमी ऑटोमेटेड प्रोसेस. आपको कंसेंट देना पड़ेगा, एक बार अप्रूव करना पड़ेगा, और उसके बाद ऑटोमेटिकली जो स्टॉक्स इस पोर्टफोलियो में से हमको भेज देना चाहिए था, उन स्टॉक्स को हम लोग भेज देंगे, और उसके जगह में whatever we wanted to add, we will be adding it in its space. All right. I hope this is clear to all of you. Now, let us move on and let us try to understand this portfolio or basket better. Okay. So as of today, there are 7 stocks in the portfolio. So an immediate question that generally people will tend to have is, why should not a basket have more stocks inside of it? Or why should it not have less stocks inside of it? There are disadvantages of doing both. If we add, or if you see a portfolio which has, for example, 30 stocks inside of it, then there is nothing to manage there, right? If you're having 30 stocks, generally speaking, your portfolio will start performing just like a benchmark index, and it will correlate बहुत with the general benchmark index. With Nifty, it might start correlating. If you take 30 small cap stocks and put it into a portfolio, it will start correlating with the small cap index directly, and the performance might be more or less similar. Better than that is a headache-free way to just go and invest in the small cap index or the large cap index. But if we start investing or making a basket, concentrated basket of just 2 or 3 stocks or 4 stocks, then क्या हो रहा है? अंडर डाइवर्सिफिकेशन हो रहा है, जहां पे अगर एक स्टॉक अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं कर रहा है और तीनों नॉर्मल परफॉर्मेंस भी दे रहा है, तो पोर्टफोलियो परफॉर्म नहीं करेगा. और एंड अगेन, बेटर देन दैट वुड बी जस्ट टू इन्वेस्ट इन एन इंडेक्स. सो the number of stocks, when we keep it around 7 to 8, what happens is that the portfolio is correctly concentrated, which means under diversification भी नहीं हुआ है और over diversification भी नहीं हुआ है. And right now we are choosing the stocks that we're going to believe in, to bet on, and we're not choosing too many of it, diluting our option and also getting stuck with a performance which will be more or less like an index. Okay. उसके अलावा जो हमने रीबैलेंस के बारे में बात किया था कि हर एक पोर्टफोलियो या बास्केट एक रीबैलेंसिंग होता है, जिसमें स्टॉक्स हम लोग जिसमें नहीं बिलीव करते हैं विल बी टेकन एंड न्यू स्टॉक्स विल बी एडेड, वो इस पोर्टफोलियो के साथ एक बार एक क्वार्टर में होता है. सो वंस इन 3 months, these set of 7 stocks which we spoke about here, they will be reviewed, and if all is well, it will be continued, no changes will be made. लेकिन अगर हमको लगता है कि इसमें से कुछ स्टॉक्स को हमको रिमूव करना पड़ेगा और कुछ और स्टॉक्स उसी के जगह में डालना पड़ेगा, वो हम करते हैं वंस इन अ क्वार्टर. ठीक है. तो एज यू कैन सी हियर, लास्ट रीबैलेंस हुआ था इस बास्केट का May 30th 2022, और नेक्स्ट रीबैलेंस होने वाला है आफ्टर 1 quarter, दैट इज ऑन August 29th 2022, इसी महीने में ही. तो One other advantage of going with a basket like MNC is that this basket is trying to pick good stocks within the MNC space and then concentrating it in the right kind of portfolio with a number of stocks, and it is being reviewed and rebalanced by the advisors on a constant basis. All right. So now what we can do is take a look at the performance of this particular basket. So this basket was launched on February, and since February, the markets are, as you can see on the screen here, the comparison is being done with the equity mid cap index. So why mid cap index? क्योंकि इस portfolio में more or less 50 percent of the portfolio, more than that, the exposure is towards the mid cap sector. तो हम लोग इसको directly, it makes sense to compare it with the mid cap index. So if we take a look at it, we can see that MNC Eternals has delivered a slightly more return already in just a short span of time compared to the equity multi-cap index. So if you had invested 100 rupees when this portfolio started, the return would have been 5% in MNC Eternals in the past couple of months, whereas in the mid-cap index, it would have been around 3.74. And also, if you take a look deeply at the screen, you will notice that from April up until end of June, the mid cap index has corrected by quite a bit. In fact, from the price of roughly almost 105, it has come down to 90, which means that there was a significant correction happening there. Lekin, if we take a look at the MNC Eternals portfolio, where we are trying to choose the best stocks inside the MNC space, यहाँ पे वो correction उतना तक आ नहीं रहा है. It is in fact the portfolio has corrected by from a value of 100, if it has just corrected by around 3%, whereas MNC Eternals during a correction from a value of 100 has gone down to 90 rupees, which is around 10%. So the correction of MNC Eternals from the launch time to the drawdown time it's just correcting by about 30%, or it has corrected by about 30% as much as the multi-cap index. And overall also, it has managed to generate a higher return. So this is how the portfolio has been curated. The next question comes as to who should be investing in baskets like MNC Eternals and what is in it for them. So MNC Eternals basket में उन लोगों को invest करना है जो they want to have a concentrated portfolio of just a limited set of stocks, no over diversification, no under diversification. They want to have stocks which will survive or have a high survivability, in the sense these companies they know for sure is going to survive for a very long period of time. And at the same point of time, they want to know that it is a safer investment to be in, because MNCs as such are more safer compared to investing in high beta stocks and things like that. So these are the set of users who should be convinced about wanting to start their journey in a basket like MNC Eternals. So I'll be sharing the screen right now, and we will be taking a look at how to basically go to the platform, where to find MNC Eternals, where to how to start your investment journey and things like that. So now give me a minute to share my screen. I hope that my screen is visible to all of you. So over here, I have now come down to kotaksecurities.com, right? And over here, we find something called as products. So once you come down to products, you will see something called value added features. जहां पे आपको नीचे stock basket बोल के दिखेगा. Bracket में you will find the name Smallcase. So you can always come back to this video and refer to how to exactly come to this particular page. तो यहाँ पे stock basket Smallcase click करने के बाद you can scroll down and you will be able to see plenty of baskets right over here. And you will notice a button called Discover Small Cases. So when we click on Discover Small Cases, basically we will be redirected to another page, which I will just show you, where you can start your investment journey. So now I hope that the screen that I have shared right now is visible to all of you. So over here, you can see the domain name as smallcase.kotaksecurities.com. This is the page that you will be redirected to. And यहाँ पे आपको multiple small case baskets which have been curated with multiple ideas will be listed. So you can see MNC Eternals right over here. Otherwise, what you can do is also come to the search bar and type MNC Eternals. So you can click on MNC Eternals and this particular basket will be visible to you. Now, couple of things that all of you need to understand about this, about how to start your journey. So the name of the small case will be mentioned here, what it does in a single line over here, the overview of the portfolio over here, the performance that we showed right over here. So you can see the 3 months performance, 1 month performance, max performance, everything right over here. And apart from that, if you want to compare it with another index, you can do so by clicking here and clicking on Nifty 50. So equity directly means the top 50 stocks over here. So again, as you can see, the overall market has returned about 1.77% starting from February 15th onwards, whereas MNC Eternals has managed to achieve much more than that by gaining a return of approximately about 5.29%. And also, as you can see, the market correction that we saw did not come through as much as the MNC Eternals portfolios correction did not come through. So now, apart from this, you can click on stocks and weights over here and basically check out all the details. Whenever you want to invest, you can come over here and check the details. So if a rebalancing happens, maybe next month if you come down, if a rebalancing would have happened, you might notice changes in the portfolio. If everything is well, the portfolio will be left intact. Apart from that, you will also be able to see the rebalance timeline over here. So as of now, we went live on February 15th. May 30th, you can see no change, which means all the stocks were performing as expected. So there have been no changes. Next review is happening on August 29th. And if changes will be made, it will be displayed right over here. So now how do we start our investing journey in a portfolio like this? So the first thing that we need to know is that this is a free access portfolio, which means that you can access all the details of the portfolio for free and you will not be asked to pay anything in order to be able to see the portfolio. Now, before we start the journey, one thing that we need to clearly understand is that the minimum investment amount or the minimum amount to start your journey with will be mentioned over here. For this basket, it is somewhere around 44,259 rupees. This can change according to the market condition marginally. Now, when we want to start our investment journey, the first thing that we need to ensure is that in our Kotak Securities account, this minimum investment amount is readily available because funds will be debited from our Kotak Securities account and the stocks that we saw will come directly to our Kotak Securities account. So the first thing that you need to do is to click on Invest Now. Once you click on Invest Now, the system will give you two options, either to start your journey in the form of an SIP, that is in the form of a systematic investment plan, or you can do a one-time investment. So whatever you want to do, the minimum ticket size will be predetermined and mentioned right over here. Now, what is being displayed on the screen is that when you invest 44,259, what are the set of stocks that you're getting? What is the current market price of these stocks? What is the overall portfolio weightage as of now? And how many quantities am I going to get as a result of this? So Pfizer has 2 quantities, Crystal has 2 quantity, Sanofi has 1 quantity, Colpal has 4 quantity, and so on. So now you will also be able to see the order type as buy over here. If you wish to proceed with the minimum investment, you can feel free to do that. If you wish to increase the amount, you can feel free to do that too. For example, let us say you want to invest one time in a lump sum way of 1 lakh rupees into this portfolio because you want to hold it for a very long period of time. It's a second kind of forget kind of investment. In such cases, you can put your desired amount over here and click on confirm amount. Once you do that, the nearest amount which will be best fitting into this portfolio as per the weightages will be chosen by the system and mentioned right over here. So as we had seen, this portfolio mein all the stocks are between 13-14% weightage. So that has been displayed here and accordingly this amount has been chosen. Now, when we wish to proceed, we have to click on invest now and click on confirm orders. So once we do this, automatically you can see here 0 out of 7 filled, which means that in that situation, your order is going to be filled with all the 7 stocks orders being placed at the same point of time. So right now the markets are closed. So when the markets open on the next trading day at 9:15, in situations where the markets are closed, these orders will be filled automatically And when you go to investments, you will notice MNC Eternals being a part of your portfolio right there. All right. So it will be listed under your satellite investments. Apart from this, at any point of time in the future, you are also free to start your SIP, and you are also free to modify the portfolio as per your requirement. So if there is a stock that you are not agreeing with personally inside the MNC portfolio, in such cases, you are free to edit the portfolio, to make changes as the user, because all of you as users have absolute control over your basket and absolute control over your portfolio, because of which you will be able to decrease the weightage of a stock, increase the weightage of a stock, change or modify the quantities, or even exit a stock. In fact, all of you have the option to even add a stock if necessary into your portfolio. So that is the degree of flexibility that the platform is providing all of you. So with that said, I hope that all of you will start considering starting your investment journey in a basket like MNC Eternals. So we have always had users come to us and ask us for small cases which are relatively safer, small cases in which the stocks are relatable, where they know many of the companies, where they've actually been customers of companies, and those stocks which are being chosen from already great companies, and the best stocks being chosen from that. And when the thought process came into making a basket like that, MNC Eternals is what was born out of it. So with that said, thanks a lot everyone for taking your time out and tuning in. So what I'll do is, if you have any questions, you can let me know in the comments box. I will start addressing the questions if you have anything about MNC Eternals. So again, Nilesh, you have a question, which is the best MNC to invest? So there is no such thing as the best MNC to invest. There is no one particular MNC like that. The basket gives you 7 MNCs that we believe in. So you can take a look at the basket, and maybe you can start your journey from there. But there is not one specific MNC which can be recommended like that. So, Vijendra, if you want to get in touch one-on-one with somebody, अगर आपको किसी के साथ बात करना है one-on-one, और आपको समझना है इस पर्टिकुलर पोर्टफोलियो के बारे में, या अगर आपको इन्वेस्टमेंट चालू करना है लेकिन one-on-one बात करके किसी से चालू करना है, then you can always reach out to Kotak Securities. तो if you are a Kotak Securities customer, आपके लिए एक डेडिकेटेड रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर होते हैं जो ये पोर्टफोलियोज के बारे में जानते होंगे. तो अगर आपके पास वो आरएम या रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर का नंबर नहीं है, तो आप डायरेक्टली कोटक सिक्योरिटीज कस्टमर केयर को रिंग कर सकते हैं, एंड वहां पे अपना ट्रेडिंग कोड दे दीजिए, और वो एक रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर जो आपके लिए असाइंड है, दे विल मेक द रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर कॉल यू बैक. ऑलराइट, सो उसके बाद यू कैन टेक द कॉन्वर्सेशन अप विद हिम. So I can see a lot of comments about speaking in Hindi. So for those of you, from the next time onwards, हम लोग सेशन more inclined towards हिंदी में ही रखेंगे, और आगे जाके एक सेशन probably पूरा हिंदी में ही रखते हैं आगे जाके. So any newcomer benefit on the Kotak Securities platform? I believe there are. Kotak does have offers running in for new investors and young investors. So you can always reach out to the team, and whatever offers are available, that will be communicated to you. So please add the order option on Neo app. I'm not aware of this, Vijay. So I'll try to look into it. So यहाँ पे लोग बता रहे हैं कि मार्केट कंडीशन में इज इट गुड, इज इट नॉट गुड, नॉन मार्केट कंडीशन में. तो आप लोग जब एक स्मॉल केस बास्केट ऑर्डर लगा रहे हैं, तो आपको ज्यादा मैटर नहीं होना चाहिए वेदर इट इज ड्यूरिंग मार्केट और ऑफ मार्केट, क्योंकि जब एक स्मॉल केस ऑर्डर लगता है या एक बास्केट ऑर्डर लगता है, तो इफ द मार्केट्स आर क्लोज, अगर मार्केट्स बंद है और या सैटरडे संडे है, जैसे मैंने स्क्रीन पे शेयर किया था, वो ऑर्डर्स तो लग ही जाएंगे, लेकिन एग्जीक्यूट नहीं होते हैं। नेक्स्ट डे एज सून एज मार्केट ओपन्स 9:15, जो भी रेट्स चल रहा है वो रेट्स पे एग्जीक्यूट हो जाते हैं। Can I enter and exit this eternal small case position the same day? हाँ विजय, आप you can always enter and exit a small case whenever you want, लेकिन उसके लिए हमने स्मॉल केस नहीं डिजाइन किया है। वो एक इंट्राडे एसेट नहीं है जिसमें हम इंट्राडे एंटर एंड एग्जिट कर पाए। बेसिकली ये पोर्टफोलियोस लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टिंग के लिए है, जो विजन रखते हैं इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए फॉर 5 years, 6 years, 10 years and things like that. Can we choose a basket with regular investment? I don't know what that means. Maybe you can rephrase that question. How to activate the segment? यहाँ पे कुछ एक्टिवेट करने का कोई भी जरूरत नहीं है। यहाँ पे कोई अकाउंट खोलने के लिए कोई भी जरूरत नहीं है। बेसिकली आपको कुछ भी नहीं करना है, सिर्फ एक कोटक सिक्योरिटीज के साथ एक अकाउंट चालू करके रखना चाहिए, एंड उसी अकाउंट को लेके आप डायरेक्टली इन बास्केट्स में इन्वेस्टमेंट स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। How many MNCs available in the mid cap space? I think हमने वो तो directly हमने देखा था, so around 57%. What is the meaning of subscribing to the small case? Basically, it means that you have started your journey in that particular small case. So, normal, you have a question. Whilst reselecting stocks quarterly, do you prioritize sectors or specific stocks based on your screener? The आइडिया इज एक्चुअली बोथ। सो हम लोग फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर हमने डिसाइड किया है कि एफएमसीजी सेक्टर में 30% से ज्यादा हमको एक्सपोजर नहीं लेना है, इफ इट हैज बीन डिसाइडेड लाइक दैट, एंड अगर हमको एक अच्छा एफएमसीजी स्टॉक मिल जाए, देन वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू इन्वेस्ट इट इन द एफएमसीजी स्पेस, कोई और स्पेस में ही ढूंढेंगे हम। तो बोथ विल बी गिवन द सेम डिग्री ऑफ प्रायोरिटी बिफोर कमिंग टू अ कंक्लूजन। Are the stocks held under these baskets held in my regular demat or a separate demat account? Anjali, it is held in your regular demat account. So जब आप अपना कोटक सिक्योरिटीज ऐप खोलते हैं या बैक ऑफिस पे लॉग इन करके अगर आप देख पाएंगे, तो जहां पे जनरली जब आप स्टॉक्स बाय करते हैं, when you're able to see the holding statement, जब आप एक स्मॉल केस में इन्वेस्ट करते हो, वो स्टॉक्स भी वहीं पे आपको दिख जाएगा। एक स्मॉल केस में इन्वेस्ट करना और अपने ट्रेडिंग एंड डीमैट अकाउंट से एक रेगुलर स्टॉक में इन्वेस्ट करने में, इन दोनों में कोई भी फर्क नहीं है। बोथ आर वन एंड द सेम। Can we trade indices like Nasdaq, global investing platform for your Kotak Securities? Again, I think it is better that you reach out to the customer care who will be able to help you better on that. So Anjan has a question. Can we do an SIP in this? Yes, Anjan, it is possible to do an SIP in this. So there are multiple SIP options available for each small case. आप monthly SIP कर सकते हैं, sometimes weekly SIP कर सकते हैं, once in a quarter SIP कर सकते हैं. You can also do, you can always invest once in a year. अगर आप एक इन्वेस्ट मोर बोल के भी ऑप्शन है, जब भी आपके पास एक एक्सेस अमाउंट है इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए एंड यू इंटेंड टू इन्वेस्ट इट इन अ बास्केट लाइक एमएनसी एटर्नल्स, आपको वो ऑप्शन भी मिलता है जहां पे आप जाके जब भी आपको चाहिए उसी बास्केट में आप डायरेक्टली इन्वेस्ट भी कर सकते हैं। तो एसआईपी भी कर सकते हैं, इन्वेस्ट मोर भी कर सकते हैं, एंड एज यूजुअल नो स्मॉल केस में देयर इज अ लॉक इन पीरियड, सो यू कैन एग्जिट अ स्मॉल केस जब भी आपको चाहिए, यू कैन एग्जिट अ स्मॉल केस and there are no charges for exiting a small case. So exit करते वक्त आपको एक exit load पड़ जाएगा, वो सब नहीं होता है इस प्लेटफॉर्म में। I have a Kotak Securities account and with a regular portfolio, can we go with a small case? Absolutely yes. So it is up to you if you believe in the concept or the philosophy. अगर आपको अच्छा लगा कि हाँ एक बास्केट है जहां पे रिस्क थोड़ा कम दिखता है क्योंकि यहां पे सिर्फ एमएनसी स्पेस में इन्वेस्ट हो रहा है, एंड एट द सेम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम तीनों मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन में हो रहा है, स्मॉल कैप में भी हो रहा है, मिड कैप में भी हो रहा है, लार्ज कैप में भी हो रहा है। सो यू विल नॉट फेस दैट डायलेमा कि क्या स्मॉल कैप सेक्टर आगे जाके परफॉर्म करेगा, लार्ज कैप करेगा, मिड कैप करेगा। ऑल थ्री आर देयर इन द बास्केट। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट ज्यादा भी डाइवर्सिफाइड नहीं है, कम भी नहीं है, इट इज इन द राइट बैलेंस, एंड सो फार इट हैज परफॉर्म्ड वेल एज कंपेयर टू द मार्केट। So if you are liking all of this simultaneously, then हाँ, अगर आपके पास ऑलरेडी एक एग्जिस्टिंग बास्केट है, तो इस बास्केट को भी, या एग्जिस्टिंग पोर्टफोलियो है, तो इस बास्केट को भी आप ले सकते हैं. Yes. Thanks everyone. Thank you. So I don't see any other questions. So for those of you जो you were asking for Hindi, so next time से definitely पूरा सेशन हम हिंदी में करने के लिए कोशिश करते हैं. So with that said, thanks everyone for taking your time out and coming to the platform and taking a look at our basket, that is MNC Eternals. So have a great day and have a happy weekend. Take care everyone. Bye bye.